What is up, guys? My name is Wumbo, and today I want to talk a little bit about the whole fiasco regarding ARK and offering paid DLC even though the base game is still in early access. So let's get started. In case you guys didn't know, ARK Survival Evolved is a survival game that has to do with dinosaurs and some other, random stuff like that. Basically, it's an early access game that is extremely popular on Steam, and it's had quite a lot of issues for a while now in terms of optimization. People have been claiming that they haven't been able to run the game effectively, even on like Xeon processors. And additionally, there are a lot of holes in the gameplay so far. It has mostly positive reviews because the game itself is pretty good, but it is an early access and not all of the pieces are quite in place yet. So the developers of ARK made headlines recently by offering paid DLC, $20 paid DLC for the game ARK Survival Evolved that isn't even out of early access. So a lot of people got mad about that from the start, just the fact that they're offering paid DLC when the game isn't even done. A lot of people will say, oh, maybe they're going to use that funding to help them make the game better. You could make that case, but there is some more information that's come out recently that says that this is really just a slimy move from these developers, and it's not something that me personally, I really appreciate. The fact that DLC is becoming more and more of a core in video games these days, that you have to pay more and more for add-ons, and you're getting less and less for base games themselves, it's really a concerning trend that needs to be discussed. So I was checking Reddit the other day, and a user by the name of Pioneer Max made a post that was talking about some conversation that went on the official ARK Discord server. So basically, there were a lot of comments, people that really genuinely cared about the game. They wanted to make the game better. They were saying that this paid DLC thing is really not a good move by the developers, and they made some great points. They were very nice in their complaints. They weren't being pushy at all. They simply said that they think that as loyal fans of the game, they didn't deserve what they got for paid DLC. Things really started to heat up when a developer of ARK Survival Evolved responded, and there is some crazy stuff in here. So a developer by the name of Rob posted an entire list worth of information about why this paid DLC is a thing. This developer basically is claiming that they created an entire new game to complement the existing one with this paid DLC. And he's arguing that they deserve to be paid for that. And then the developer argues that ARK Survival Evolved is actually closer to release than it is in beta, and therefore it's okay to release paid DLC. And this is what was really interesting. People approached him saying that they were frustrating all of their loyal fans by doing this, and this developer said in response that, quote unquote, "We are #1 in Steam sales. I would say we made most happy." And then at the very end of this long list of specific things the developer talks about, he says this. It's crazy. The entire post, referring to the person who posted complaining about it in the first place, screamed of rage because you are too cheap to pony up $20 for a game worth $60, which we undercharged for in the first place. If you don't want to pay, that's fine. We are not holding a gun to your head. That, for me, was absolutely insane. The fact of the matter is that people aren't complaining that these devs shouldn't be paid for their work. They're simply complaining that the developers were focusing on creating paid DLC before they were focusing on finishing the actual game itself that people invested in as an early access title. A lot of people bash early access survival games for basically never getting done and for not having any valuable content whatsoever in the long run. And ARK Survival Evolved has basically just justified all of those complaints. So what do I think about this? Firstly, I think it's quite obvious that you shouldn't be making paid DLC when your original game isn't even done yet. I can understand if you're trying to fund your game some more, but ARK Survival Evolved is one of the top selling games on Steam recently, and a lot of people aren't even able to play the game right now because it's so poorly optimized. You should at least get those problems done before you start charging for something else that people won't be able to play anyway. Secondly, about this response from the developer, there is literally nothing that could have been said. I can think of a couple things, but he basically said everything he could to make the situation even worse. He basically argued that customers who don't agree with their decision to offer paid DLC are too cheap, that they are too cheap to pony up $20 more. He thinks that it is worth more than $60 in the first place, and therefore you should be paying for this paid DLC, even though the base game isn't even done. I don't have a problem with offering more content, but I have a problem when your base game has issues in the first place and you don't even deal with those issues, and you leave all those people that invested in your title in the first place left behind as you try to rake in more cash. Instead of taking criticism from their fans and using it to try to make the game better, this specific developer basically just tried to deny all accusations and criticisms and claim that their game is already perfect. This developer didn't even take the time to use proper grammar or capitalization or spell check or anything in their response. It was absolutely disgusting to see. In my opinion, the whole point of early access was that you paid to play the game during its development. And that comes at a cheaper price typically because the game isn't finished. So when a developer claims that their game is underpriced at $20, that's absurd because the game doesn't even run for a lot of people and it's so poorly optimized, you can't seriously consider it to be titled $60 like a game like Call of Duty, for example, which has relatively good optimization because it comes from a large company. Basically, what this whole situation is confirmed is that early access games, I shouldn't say all, but a decent amount of them are just cash grab. It's hard to say whether ARK Survival Evolved will ever get out of early access. Now, a lot of people are going to respond to me saying that, oh no, developers deserve to be paid more. Developers do a lot of work that they don't get paid for. They're okay making this $20 paid DLC because they deserve to be paid more in the first place. Look, the reality is I don't disagree with the fact that developers are relatively underpaid at times. But the fact of the matter is, in the gaming industry, it's a winner-take-all market. You either make a game that sells like crazy, you either take up all of the sales, or you get basically nothing. Indie developers generally don't get paid as well as they should for the amount of time they put into their games because it's a winner-take-all market. The games like ARK Survival Evolved that start generating some steam, they're going to take all of the profits. While I would like to be able to say that developers should be paid more, the reality is that it's just not feasible. If anyone thinks that a game should have paid DLC in early access when the game itself isn't even done, let me know by leaving a comment. I'd definitely be interested in hearing that opinion because I personally just don't see how it's possible to think that that's okay. I can't conceive that to be something that would be acceptable. Luckily, I have not personally bought ARK Survival Evolved. It's actually on my wish list right now, but I'm definitely going to be taking it off because I don't want to support a developer that thinks that this kind of thing is okay. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about it for now. I'm sure a lot of new information is going to come out in the future about why this decision was made, but at least right now, with the sort of lack of information that we have, it appears that this is a complete cash grab. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and definitely leave a comment letting me know what you think about the whole situation. And if you really enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. The channel has been growing a lot recently. It's been super awesome, so let's keep it up, guys. Anyway, my name is Wumbo. I'll see you next time.